We are live. We are live right now. Congratulations on everybody for making it out to our live stream here on Thursday. We got Charlie's game going on, and we are jumping right into the action. Jason just turned a pair of aces against Paul's pocket kings. Ace-6 offsuit versus pocket kings. Obviously, pocket kings way ahead pre-flop, but now the tables have turned on the turn. Paul betting $25 here on that overcard. Jason raising to 75. Paul fiddling with his chips. You can't like to see that ace, especially facing a raise. Let's see if Paul can lay it down. I know I'm not good enough to do that. No, and he does. Wow, Paul making the correct fold. Well, good evening, everybody. We have just gone through hand number 1, and it was already pretty spicy. Speaking of spicy, though, we've got a pretty spicy thing happening right now. We are doing the bad beat, as always, but we are also dropping the qualifying hand every single day. Today, it is aces full of 9s. Justin in the chat saying, ready for Saturday, my man. I am as well. I'll be back in the booth doing some live stream commentary on Saturday as well. Let me see here. We're going to be doing that round of each on Saturday. That's going to be pretty fun. $500 to $2,000. We're starting off at 4 p.m., 10 on the button. And we've got Justin saying, go Basil, in full LSU fashion. I'm trying to find, this is what we're doing right now. I'm trying to find our, okay, let's get back to the game. I'll click around in a minute. We've got some hands brewing, so I need to make sure that we stay on top of the action. I was looking for that chart that shows the qualifier that is dropping down every single day. Today, aces full of 9s is the qualifier. Actually, Superman holding ace-9. If he can boat up in the right way and get beat, then we will see the Bad Beat Jackpot hit $15,000 up for grabs. But it doesn't look like it's going to be happening on this hand. Jared with the pocket 7s actually is best right now. Those 10s paired on the board. Now, Superman might make the call here. He does have an ace in his hand, so pair of 10s with an ace kicker. But he does let it go. It's the battle of the pocket pairs. Now we've got 7s versus 3s. And a jack comes off. Another overcard to Jared's pair of 7s. And the king seals the deal, Juan officially drawing dead. And check, check on the river. Jared will take that one down. Now we are changing up our free roll. Still doing bomb pots now. But you may have to come in on Monday to get the final word. We're going to be doing bomb pots on every other level change. Still $0 entry fee, still a $10 bonus to add on when you register, and still $25 rebuys. But we are changing up that bomb pot structure. Make sure to come in on Monday and check it out. Should be pretty good. That's me right there. Trying to find, okay, we got both of us right now. Trying to find that button on there that shows, oh, here it is. Appropriately labeled calendar. That Bad Beat Jackpot is dropping off. We'll get back into the action, show that calendar off here in a second. We've got Meg in the chat saying, go Kenny. We got Kenny fans back in the chat. How you been, Meg? Glad that you are in the chat. We've got Superman with the Jack-9, Jason with the Ace-Deuce suited, Paul with the 9-8 suited, Richard with the Ace-8, and Juan with the King-Queen. Juan drawing to Broadway here, but Richard has the better pair of aces, and now his kicker is a pair of 8s. Aces and eights for Richard. Almost a lock on this hand. And it looks like, yeah, Superman's going to be betting 11. Jason calls. Paul getting rid of his pair of eights. Let's see how much value Richard goes for. It looks like a raise. Raise to $60. Just, almost 6x. Now, Superman with the pair of jacks was not best on the flop. You got Teresa Leva in the chat cheering Basil on. Glad to hear from you. Meg, it is good to be back. I'm doing well. I got to visit my family this past weekend. My brother turned 21. Very exciting. So we had another Thanksgiving to celebrate his birthday and the Thanksgiving holiday. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for asking. Hopefully you're doing well as well. And it looks like Richard's going to take that pot down. $120 in the middle. 53 is profit. Heading right on over to seat number 3. Meg got the KoJack's hoodie. Yes, indeed. Very glad. Always cool when we see people repping the brand, wearing the merch. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's as soft as you thought it would be. And we're moving on already. We've got hand number 4 already underway. We've already got a couple of people in the chat. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody's holiday season went well. Made it through the Thanksgiving table without too much unsavory discussion. That can always happen. Yes, Meg, it sure was. 21st birthdays are the best. We got him each different 21 presents. I got him 21 scratch-offs. My brother-in-law got him 21 beers out of a 30-pack. So he took 9 beers for himself. And it looks like Q is drawing to the queen high flush here. Richard with the 5 high flush. Board comes out all hearts. And Mr. Q going to call the 10 from Jason with 2 pair. 6 boats Jason up. 6 is full. Jason betting $7, just milking Q. Trying to build that pot up slowly. There's a king on the river. Jason with a improved hand now. 6 is full of kings. And Q cannot call that river bet. And he does make the fold. $69 in that pot. There we go. I hit the right button that time. And Jason chips up. Let's take a look at some of these stacks here. We've got Mr. Jason all the way on top right now. 266 in front of him. Jared at 245. Richard at 243. Aiden still has yet to play a hand at $200. Same with Corey. Kenny down to 190 for now. Juan down to 174. All well within comeback range here. Paul needs the most help here at 139 in front of him, buying in for 200. But the table has just begun. It is early in the session. We've got a lot of hands to play here. We're only on hand number 5. So plenty of action. Speaking of 5s, Richard with the pocket 5s. And Mr. Q with the ace-king suited of the club's variety. And Corey looks down at a mystery hand here. Gonna pitch it. Q raising it up to $20. Let's see if Jason calls with the suited jack. He sure does. Richard with the pocket 5s. Does he decide to go set mining? 241 in his stack. He covers almost the entirety of the table. The implied odds are high enough for Richard to make the call. And Juan with the ace-deuce suited going to make the call as well. And Kenny comes along with the 10-9 offsuit. We are in action 5 ways to the flop. 103 in the middle, already 50 big blinds. 7-4 Trey coming out on that flop. 2 spades, 1 club for Kenny. Or sorry, 1 club for Q. Now, Richard's hand actually best right now with the pocket 5s. Q is going to bet, though, with the 2 overcards and the backdoor flush draw. Jason really missing that flop. Does fold his hand. Let's see if Richard wants to continue. Get 2 more possibilities to hit a 5. Or could hit a 6 for a straight. On that flushy board, though, it could get a little tricky. And he does fold the best hand. Juan with the ace-deuce. He's going to fold as well as Kenny, and Q will take it down. The ace-king, big slick suited. And the button moves. We've got Basil in the best position. And we are shuffling things up. Let's take a look at that calendar. Showing off our weekly schedule here. Mondays, we're doing that free roll. We've got bomb pots on every other level change. We've also got a bomb pot tournament, if that is more your speed, on Wednesday. Went pretty well yesterday. Today, we're doing Charlie's game, the 1-2 game. And on Saturday, we're going to be doing some cash. Going to be doing a $5 on the button game. I think I pulled up an old calendar a minute ago. So we're going to be doing the 5 on the button cash, no limit hold'em game. And then Sunday, we're doing a deep stack tournament. Alternating once again, deep stack and bounty. So I believe this weekend we're doing the bounty tournament. And look at this. Jason down with the ace Quisha. Trying to get those clubs. Corey also holding a suited jack of clubs. Paul coming along with the K9. Thinking Schnauzer this time. I think it's a Schnauzer. Actually, I'm going to have to Google that. I'm not exactly positive Schnauzer is a dog breed. Let me know in the chat, what is your favorite dog breed? We'll take the best one for the K9 hand of the day today. Juan with the Queen 8 decides to come along, as does Q with the 5-4 suited. We've got the ace-high club flush represented here, potentially. We've got the king-high spade flush, potentially, and the 5-high diamond flush, potentially. And look at this, a spade and a diamond come off on the flop, as well as a king and 2 7s. Paul making the best pair with his pair of kings. Juan bets 30. Paul calls 30. Juan betting with just air, trying to take down this pot with aggression and aggression alone. There's a 2 of hearts coming off on the turn, and Juan goes all in. About a pot-sized bet. This could get through. Paul has to ask himself, would Juan fast play a 7? Or is his pair of kings best? And there it goes, choo-choo. The chips go in the middle. Juan laughing. He's a good sport about it. Caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He pulls. He folds face down. Pulling the wallet out. Getting ready to go. All right, Justin saying Bulldog. I just got back from Mississippi State where my brother is attending school. That is their mascot, the Bulldogs. I'm on board with the Bulldogs. Paul using the Bulldog hand to great advantage just now. King 9, the K9, the Bulldog. And gets that pot, 306, the biggest pot of the session so far, and we're only on hand number 6. We've already seen an all-in situation here. And it looks like Juan still has a few chips behind. He could top up, but I do believe a little bit in superstition, you got to get rid of that first buy. Either you double, triple up on your first buy, or you let it run down to the felt and then add on. Justin saying his Bulldog is the Mississippi State mascot's brother, the same parents. What are the odds? I am in the chat right now with the local celebrity, the owner of the Bulldog, related to the Mississippi State mascot. That's awesome. That's really cool, Justin. Aiden looking down at the king queen under the gun. He's going to raise it up to 10. And then Paul next to act, looking down at the same king queen. Both players with a black king queen. Very crazy to see here. And we are headed to the flop 5 ways, 51 in the middle. And of course, there's an ace as well as a jack. Q has the best hand right now, but Aiden keeps up the aggression. C-betting for $7 more. A slight down bet. Of course, Paul comes along. Juan, $5 remaining in his stack. He gets out of the way. And Jared out as well with the 9-7. Q, 81% favorite on this hand. Another ace almost seals it up. Aiden and Paul still drawing to any of the 2 remaining kings or any of the 2 remaining queens. Both players, of course, holding each other's outs. Check, check, check on the turn. The river card brings a 7 of clubs. Each player holding precisely 1 club in their hand. And Q checks it down, gets the check mark, and will get the pot. Shay in the chat saying the free roll with 9th place is no good. There's no motivation for 3rd or 4th place with $450, but he's still going to have fun. I love to hear that. Yeah, the ladders on the free roll are pretty interesting sometimes. And we do a percentage of the number of total entries to decide how many people are paid, and then any rebuys go towards the total prize pool. And there is the option to chop once we get to the final table. Shay, surprised to see that you are not playing in the live stream, my man. Always nice to see you out there. We'll have to get you in on the next one, sir. All right, hand number 8 already. Aiden now in the big blind. Paul first to act with the ace-7 suited. A decent ace, if I do say so. Juan going all in. Whoops. Come on. I meant to hit the air horn. Juan going all in for $5. Good luck, buddy. Queen 4 offsuit. I've got a feeling. This one might hit. As it stands now, Juan is in pretty good situation here to quintuple up, it looks like. We're 6 ways to the flop. $30 in the middle. Sextuple up. 8-6-4 on the flop. Jared looking for a 5 here. Juan with a pair of 4s. That is the best hand so far. I've got a feeling, I think Juan going to be able to take this one down. Jason betting his pair of 4s, though his kicker not quite as good. Jason drawing to a 7. 2 7s are already out. And there's a queen. Juan makes 2 pair. I'm not going to say I called it. I'm not going to say I told you so. And there's a 9 on the river. Juan gets the check mark. From $5 to $30. That checks around. Jason going to take down the side pot with his pair of 4s, and Juan's 2 pair, queens and 4s, wins the main. Love that. Shay says he's working, but he'll be here on Monday for the free roll. Yes, sir. I'll be working it. I will be there. I'll see you at the final table, buddy. Tony Halt in the chat, my man. Whoops. How's it going, Toledo Tony? How you been, my friend? Hopefully the holidays treated you well. Pay no mind to the womp womps. I just pushed the wrong button. going to have to figure out how to reassign these things. Although that might mess me up even more. Who knows? Paolo in the chat. What's happening, my friend? Good to hear from everybody. We got the Thursday crew going on. Richard with the ace-9, Juan with the 8-6 suited. Corey with Basil's favorite hand, but Jared looks down at the pocket kings, and he's going to raise it up here. $12 is the raise. Now, in any normal poker game, 6x the big blind would be a pretty sizable raise here. Let's see how many callers Jared gets. Charlie's game is anything but a normal 1-2 game. We made it to hand 6 before we had an all-in situation. Juan bluffing with air. And then going all in with the queen 4 offsuit and taking down a $30 pot with only $5 committed. A jack hits on the flop. Corey making top pair. But Jared, of course, with the overpair of kings. And Juan going to go all in here. He's got the backdoor flush draw, drawing to a straight. Looking for a 5. Jason holding a 5. One of those is dead. Corey getting out of the way with his pair of jacks. Making the correct fold there. And Juan is all in for his $18. That means we've got a side pot brewing. Let's see if Juan can hit that 5. Maybe Jason goes runner here for a flush. A 2 of hearts comes out on the turn. Jared betting. Snap call. It looks like, okay, almost a snap call from Jason. $35 is the bet. $35 is the call. Jason drawing to a 5 or a heart. And it's a 7 instead. Jason gets there. Making trips on the river, sucking out on Jared's kings. Jason going to bet small. And Jared calls immediately. $27 the bet. And Jared turns over his kings. Jason taking down that pot. Tony saying he dodged a big storm on Lake Erie a couple days ago. Been below freezing for almost 200 hours. People's power went out. That sounds awful. Below freezing, no power. Count me out. Saying they had thunder snow yesterday. I like that. Thunder snow is pretty interesting. One of nature's many anomalies. Usually you need a lot of uplift, a lot of turbulence in the upper parts of the atmosphere to create the thunder. But sometimes it just snows hard enough that it's still able to cause enough disturbance, creating that thunder. Pretty cool stuff. It's also really pretty. Snowstorms are kind of a different color than rainstorms. And the thunder, the lightning in the background, really lights up those clouds, make it look very cool. Shay saying maybe next month we can add Crazy Pineapple to the calendar. I am all for it. We had a great time with those Crazy Pineapple tournaments. If you haven't played Crazy Pineapple, you get 3 cards. You do a round of betting pre-flop. You see the flop. You do a round of betting, and then you discard one of your cards. A little extra layer of strategy there. What did my opponent fold? What is he chasing on this flop? What is he looking for? What am I looking for? It's really interesting. Fun game to play, very splashy. Now, looks like Jason looking down at the king-queen, going to raise it up to $6. Aiden with the queen 6 offsuit. Paul, king deuce. Richard with the K9. We're talking bulldogs today. Kenny with the 10-9. And Q with the queen 3. We are 7 ways to the flop. The flop comes ace high, $42 in the middle. Superman flopping the best of it. No clubs out there for Richard. Jason could go runner again for a heart flush this time. Let's see what happens. Checks around to Aiden, who also checks. An 8 comes out. Another 8, pairing the board. Superman still with the best hand and almost a lock. Ace 5. Can't feel great about it when you've got 7 players in the pot. Anyone could be holding an 8. And that'll do it. It looks like a bet and folds all around. Superman taking down the pot with the best hand, a pair of aces, a pair of 8s. Tony saying he's been able to see the northern lights probably 8 to 10 times over the last several months. Yeah, that's really crazy. First time in 36 years of life. Yeah, me too. I missed out on that. We had that large solar storm, how many months ago? Maybe 6, 8 months ago? And the northern lights reached all the way down to South Mississippi. Even some people here in West Texas were able to see some northern lights. Been on my bucket list for a very long time. Would love to see them. But we have just reached the solar maximum. I was watching a nerd video on YouTube the other day talking about the polarity of the sun has switched, and that happens every time we reach a solar maximum. So we are officially in the solar maximum right now. Hopefully that means more northern lights for everybody, more sky spectacles. And Q looking down at QQ, raising it up to 20 bucks. Aiden with the 9 tray folds. Paul with the queen tray gets out of the way. Richard with the king 8 suited folds as well. And Juan with the house hand, the king jack. He's going to make the call. Heads up to the flop, $43 in the middle. King jack versus queen queen. There's an ace on the flop. Scare card for both players. Juan going to check. And Q going to keep up the aggression here, betting. I don't expect Juan to call here with just the king jack high. And he does fold. Q taking down that pot. Let's take a look at some of these V-pips here. Let's see who's playing how many hands. Jason all the way at the top. 72% along with Q and Juan. 3-way tie for the highest V-pip. All 3 players above 70%. Now, we have only played 11 hands so far. But still, that's a large number, percentage-wise, of the hands. Corey at the bottom with 20%. And a little work to do, Corey. Loosen up, buddy. He's got the jack 10 suited. He's going to fold. Jared with the ace jack suited, raising it up to $11. Aiden looking down at a pocket pair, trying to hit jackpot here with these 7s. Paul with the 5-3. Charlie would be disappointed. We're going to make a 5-3 game for Charlie's game. And it looks like we've got another big pot brewing. 78 in the middle. We've got 7 players to the flop. That comes ace high, ace 9-5. Jared making top pair. Richard and Corey with the jack 10. Backdoor Broadway draws, but I don't think Richard is going to chase. He gets out of the way. Kenny with the 7-4 of clubs. Folding as well. Q with the king deuce. Got 1 diamond on board. He folds. Superman's pocket 6 is not looking so great right now. And he does make the lay down. Drum roll. Does he fold? Yeah, he folds. And Jared's going to take down that pot with the best hand. $100 in the middle. 67 in profit. Let's take a look at those chip count leaderboards here. Jason, the big winner on the session, more than doubling up right now. Q catching up about $100. Paul up $61 on the session. Richard down just a tiny bit for now. Superman down a little bit more, down 12 bucks. Juan having to rebuy, adding on after that courageous bluff. $221 down, but still 179 in his stack. Plenty of wiggle room to double up and catch up to even, maybe make his way into the green. Corey with the pocket threes, the trays. Jason with the king six. Gonna fold. Jared with the 5 deuce, out of the way. Aiden with king 8 offsuit decides he likes it enough to throw in a limp. $2 to call. Kenny with the 9-7. Q with the 9 tray. He's gonna check. King, queen 5, 2 spades on board. Aiden with the king 8, flopping top pair, piecing together a bet here. $5. Puts out a nickel, and Richard calls 5. Aiden just building the pot here with top pair. Even Corey makes the call. $25 in the middle now. 3 ways to the turn. It's a 9. Richard making a pair of 9s as well. Looking for a 10 for a straight. Checks to Aiden. Betting a little chunkier this time, $15. Richard may think his pair of 9s is best. He does make the call. Looking for a jack or a 10. It's an ace instead on the river. Aiden with the best pair, the pair of kings. Going to bet 25 into the middle. And Richard folds. Aiden taking down his first pot of the evening. We got Basil in the chat saying Poker Face Superman is watching from North Korea. The only language that we accept at the table other than English is North Korean. Mostly because I don't think it's a real language. I think it's just regular Korean would be the language. And Jason now with the bulldog hand. The K9. Aiden folding the Jack 4, the Robbie Lou. What is a Jack 4? Couple of folds around here. King 8 for Q. Good enough to make the call. Superman calling as well. Jason putting out a couple more white chips. And we're 4 ways to the flop. This time we've got 28 in the middle. Vince is watching from Alaska. Very cool. Flop comes out king high again. Q's king 8 versus Jason's king 9. Q, though, with 2 pair. Worst kicker on paper, but Q's kicker is a pair. Kings and 8s. I bet $25 and get a snap call from Jason. Richard, though, with a gutter ball once again. Seems like he's been 4 to a straight in every pot he's played so far. One of them has to hit. He's going to chase. He's calling 25. Looking for one more card. It's a 3. No help to Richard. Q going to bet once again. Pretty safe card for that specific 2-pair combination. Here, $60 is the bet. Jason wondering, is his 9 kicker any good? Could be up against a king-jack, a king-queen, king-10 perhaps. Outkicked in those scenarios. Of course, Q is holding a much better hand. And he folds. As does Richard. Q going to take down that pot. 163 in the middle. These pots are getting bigger. We're on hand We just wrapped up hand number 14, and the game is already growing. We're only 30 minutes into the stream. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out. Come by and play at KoJack's. I got a treat for you, that $15,000 Bad Beat. We're dropping the qualifier until it hits for the rest of this month. Today is the 5th. We're at aces full of nines today. If aces full of nines gets cracked, $15K is up for grabs. Tomorrow it'll be aces full of eights. Now, Jason, sitting right there, seat number 9, has a good feeling that that bad beat may hit today. And a little bit of a teaser there in the description. Will it hit today? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Superman looking down at Big Slick, the old AK right there. Jared with the Jack 5 suited, throws it away. Queen Deuce for Richard. Not going to play that one. Kenny coming along with the King Deuce. He is dominated, though. And Q also dominated with the Ace 6. Superman with a great lock on this hand. 58% equity before the flop even hits. But there is a 6 on board for Q to pair up. Superman betting in first position here. $17. Q's got a pair of 6s. Only one overcard to the board, but he does fold. Very tight fold. And Superman takes that one down. Pair of 6s can't feel comfortable when you're facing a bet from the small blind like that. Re-raise pre-flop and a C-bet on the flop. Could be 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks. And here we go, hand number 15 on the books. We've got number 16 coming at you. I've already seen one all-in hand. We're getting splashy out here. Aiden with the Jack 10 offsuit from the +1 spot, going to make the call for $2. Paul with the 8-7 offsuit, just barely making it back to his seat in time before his hand gets folded. And Corey looking down at the pocket aces in the small blind. He's going to re-raise it up to $7. Trying to get a couple of callers, maybe one or two. Never feels good when you have pocket aces going multi-way to the flop. Aiden throwing in the call. Paul with the 7-8 offsuit. Coming along. Oh, Aiden 3-bets to $15. Corey's got to like the sound of that. See, Corey decides to smooth call here. He says he'll take his chances 4 ways. Well, there's that. An ace on the flop and a jack and a 10. I think all the money is getting in the middle here. Corey sizing out a bet here. It looks like 22. Aiden with 2 pair. Going to make the call. Paul folding about as fast as he possibly can. Richard drawing to Broadway here, looking for a king. Giving him the stern finger here. And then a chuckle. Says, you're not supposed to bet the aces. Let me draw to the king and let me do it in peace. And Richard putting out a call right there, it looks like. And we're still 3 ways here for the turn. Very dynamic board. A 5, a complete blank on the turn. And there's the all-in from Corey. Aiden in a spot here. 2 pair with all Broadway cards on the flop. 2 clubs. Is Corey semi-bluffing a club draw? Maybe he's got a combo draw here. Queen 9 of clubs or something. Or does Corey have a set? A set of 10s, a set of aces, a set of jacks? Aiden, of course, blocking any sets of jacks or 10s. But it is still possible. Aiden going to take a chance, makes the call, $400 in the middle. Richard folds his hand. $356 total after all the counts have been verified. Aiden shows the 2 pair. And there's a king. Richard would have hit Broadway, would have won the hand. But Corey gets the double up with top set. The Rockets. Richard pulling out a crispy blue bill. Aiden taking a walk. I don't blame you, buddy. Aiden taking a walk to the old bank account right there, adding on $200. Topping up to the max. And here we go. Let's take a look at that calendar again. This Sunday is the 8th. We've got the Bounty Tournament going on. $200 will get you a seat. We've got a $3K guarantee on that. And every player you knock out, you get a $50 bounty. You also get a $100 add-on at the first break if you should choose to do so. You can add a couple more chips to your stack, a couple tens of thousands of chips. And, of course, we are dropping down that Bad Beat qualifier for this month. $15K up for grabs today. Aces full of 10s. Tomorrow, aces full of 9s today. Aces full of 8s tomorrow. Let's see if we can't hit that bad beat today on live stream. How lit would that be? Put some fire emojis in the chat if you want to see that bad beat get hit today. Robert Hernandez watching from Dubai. You know what? I think Toledo Tony is letting everybody ride on his G8 jet plane. Really taking some quick trips around the world. Vince in Alaska, Robert in Dubai, Basil in North Korea. Now, looks like we've got another hand brewing here. Jason with the ace Quisha. Kenny with the pocket 10s. 2 ways to the flop, 40 in the middle. 7-6-4, 2 diamonds. Pair 10 still best. Justin saying he doesn't want it to hit today. It could wait till Saturday. I can agree with that. Kenny looking like he wanted to scoot there. $25 is the bet. 25 is the call. A set on the turn. Jason in the small blind, first to act. Looks like he does not want to proceed with caution. $30 is the bet. And Kenny, top set here. 8-9 gets there. 5-8 gets there. Couple of straight possibilities. Kenny makes the call. $90 total in his stack. 60 behind after that call. And another 6 pairing the board, giving Kenny a boat. And Jason bets 55. Kenny, no choice but to go all in. Does Jason fold? He does not call the additional $5. And Kenny takes that one down. I think Kenny catching up to the big winner on the day. Jason, I believe, up $65. Corey up $156. Kenny coming back, now only down $68 on the session, according to our graphics here. Big stack, though. Looks like Mr. Corey at 356 and Q at 351. Used to work casino security a long time ago, and we had call numbers. My call number was 351, and my buddy's was 356. Pretty fun to see those numbers right next to each other once again. A little blast from the past. Now Paul under the gun, looking down at ace-king. Richard next to act with the ace-10. Paul throwing out a $12 bet. First to act, a lot of strength. Richard undeterred. He's going to make the call. Kenny with the jack-9 here. Let's see if he can go for 2 in a row. He is going to make the call. Corey with the queen-jack. Q with the ace-6. Jason with the best position here, queen 10. Plays decently well multi-way. Unsuited, though. It looks like he's going to raise it up. No, he's calling 12. And here we go, off to the flop. Once again, 7 ways. $96. Oh, sorry, 8 ways. $96 in the middle. King 7 tray. Paul flopping top here. Paul going to lead out. Chunky bet. Looks like $30. Richard's going to fold. Looks like Kenny and Q make the fold as well. Corey, not a whole lot of room to continue. Q gets out of there. $25 is the bet. And folds around. Paul taking that pot down with the best hand. 121 in the middle. 84 in profit. Paul chipping up to 330 in his stack. And here we go on to hand number 19. Been streaming for almost 50 minutes. Pretty decent pace for this game, especially for a live stream. Juan with the 9-7 suited, and Kenny with the same suit here. He's got the queen of hearts. Q with the house hand. The king jack. Gonna raise it up to $20. I like that move. Jason with the 9-8 suited. Gonna make the call. And we are off to the races. This time 5 ways to the flop. $103 in the middle. King, queen, jack. Q with top and bottom pair. Jason with the low end of the straight draw here. 2 diamonds on board. Jared holding the ace of diamonds. Backdoor nut flush draw. Q betting $30. Chunky bet. Jason looks like he wants to call. And he does. Jared with the ace does make the call here. The overcard Both players looking for a 10. Absolute disaster for Jason if that 10 hits. And there's another queen. Q counterfeited. Improves from 2-pair to 2-pair. Kind of a scare card. Slows him down. Now that Q has taken his foot off the gas, it looks like Jason throws out a small bet. $7. Good enough to keep everybody in the pot, I'm sure. Jared's nut flush draw is a thing of the past. And there's a 7, a blank on the river. Q's pair of kings and queens is best. Looks like it checks around and Q gets the check mark, shows off the king. And we are moving on. This Sunday, we've got our bounty tournament. November 10th, November 24th, and December 8th. Check it out. We're doing the early bird special. 10,000 bonus chips for registering before level 2. So if you get in at the pre-reg, you get in during level 1, you get another 10,000 in chips. $3K guarantee on that, and $50 in bounties for every player you knock out. $200 will get you a seat, so knock out 4 players. There's your buy already paid for. Super fun tournament. Very aggressive style. Juan first to act with the pocket 6s. Q with the Jack 10 coming along for a limp. Jared with the pocket 4s. Aiden with the Jack 9. And Paul with the 7 tray. And it looks like there is a raise from Q and a couple of callers. Aiden on the button. King, king, 8 on the flop. Nobody with a pair except Juan holding the pocket 6s. That is the best hand right now. He will win this hand once it gets to showdown about a third of the time. That does improve on the turn with a 3 of hearts. Richard now improving to a flush draw. Jared going to bet with his pocket 4s. Aiden, I like this play. Making a big raise here, $35. Using that position to his advantage. But Richard staying sticky, looking for that heart on the river. Going to make the call. And the last card is a king. Jared boats up. Check, check, check on the river. And Jared turns over the pocket 4s. Taking down that one. Jared wearing some pretty sweet thread. Says, call me old-fashioned on his shirt with a picture of an old-fashioned. Classic drink. One of my favorite cocktails. If anybody's shopping for Christmas gifts for me, an old-fashioned will do. And here we go, moving on. We've got hand number 21 coming at you. I think 21 is going to be a big hand. That is what I am predicting. Kenny with the 5-4 offsuit under the gun. Throws out a limp. Superman with the ace-10. Could be a bad beat hand. Any talking about the bad beat will nullify the jackpot. So These players have to use a little bit of restraint. And what is this? A family pot. 9 players are in. Almost a family pot. Only one player has folded. Jack 8, 10. Superman with the pair of 10s. Just barely notched by Paul's pair of jacks. Jared makes the straight right off the rip. And just elects to smooth call. No, sorry, he raises to 17. Kenny with a 5-4 does get out of the way. Superman looks like he makes the fold. We got Megan in the chat going, cheering on Team Basil. We love to see it. Jared shows the straight. Just flop the nuts. Easy game. Easy game. And here we go. Moving on to the next one. We're at hand number 22. I really thought 21 was going to be a big hand, but maybe 22 will be the one. Maybe I was off by one number. And we may have a misread on this hand. I did see one of the cards going into the wrong box, so we'll have to see how that goes. Our card readers are nearly instantaneous. We've got a very good setup here at KoJack's. Jared showing the pocket 4s. Aiden with the ace-9. Paul with the queen-6. Richard with the 6-5. Juan with the king-8 suited. And Kenny with the ace-deuce of the same suit. Nut flush draw versus second nut flush draw. 55 in the middle. Kenny 3-betting to $19. Corey with a suited ace-5. A really good hand. Megan in the chat saying, this is the best poker stream in the world. If people don't watch this while playing Skyrim, what are you even doing? A game that came out almost 15 years ago. But it is an excellent one. Especially in the wintertime. Playing Skyrim in the winter is a vibe. And it looks like we've got 6 ways to the flop here. $120 in the middle, 60 big blinds before we even see a board. And we are off to the races. A lot of interesting hands here, a lot of interesting dynamics. The board comes out 10-10-9. Aiden with a pair of 9s and the ace kicker. It is a rainbow board. No hearts on board for Juan or Kenny. Richard making the fold. Juan getting out of the way. Kenny thinking about it. Facing a bet. Kenny makes the bet of $40. Heads up to the turn. It's a queen of clubs. Kenny with the ace deuce. Gonna bet again. $60 this time. Jared's pair of 4s is best. But he does fold. Looking for a better spot, and Kenny will take that one down with just aggression alone. And number 22. Decently large hand. We're still waiting on that big one, though. Biggest pot we've seen, about $350 in the middle so far today. We have been streaming for about an hour now. We are sure to see some more fireworks before all is said and done. Jared with the 9 tray is going to make the call. Aiden with the queen jack, raising it up to $8. Ace, deuce, 4 on the flop. 2 spades. Richard making 2 pair. Aiden going to bet out, though. Keeping up the aggression. He may have just stepped in at $8, though. See if Richard, yeah, he scoots, shoving it all in. Jared with a wheel draw here. Let's see what he opts to do. $105 to call. Looking for a 4-outer here. Does make the fold. Aiden, just not enough of that flop to continue. He's going to make the fold. And Richard chipping back up 155 in his stack now. Aiden down just shy of $100. We've got hand number 24 coming at you. These even numbers sometimes bring big hands. Sometimes they don't. We shall see. And take a quick break. I'll be back before the hand is over. Okay, I lied. I didn't make it back in time for the end of that hand. Corey in the chat saying, let's go Aiden. Dealer power. Aiden is going to be activating his dealer power. His hair is going to change to a gold, and it will stand up. He's going super dealer. Basil in the chat saying, poker is so sick, he's card dead. That is a bummer. Jason raising it up to $4 with 10-9 suited from under the gun. Jared with a pair of jacks, 3-betting to 15. Aiden with a big slick. $66 in his stack. Looks like he's putting 15. Oh, he's 3-betting to 45. $21 behind. Corey folds. Jason with the 10-9, facing a decision. He goes all in. Jared can't call fast enough. Aiden only a couple of bucks behind. I don't see him making a fold here. Two players all in. Hand number 25. It is the big one. Aiden does make the call here. Kenny getting decent odds. Has already put a couple of chips in the middle. Now action on cue with the ace-4 suited. And he folds. Three players all in. Monica counting out the stacks, the pots, one of my favorite dealers. And here we go. We are off to the races. Ace-King versus Pocket Jacks versus 10-9 suited. Aiden turns over his hand. Jared turns over his hand. And the flop comes out 10 high, 10-5 tray. Jason with a pair of 10s. Gets a couple more outs, but oh, wow. And spikes it on the turn. Luck box right there. Jason makes trips. We are running it twice, it looks like. Second board, 7-7 tray. Jared in the lead on this one. There's a queen. Aiden still looking for an ace or a king. The river card is an 8. And it's going to be a chop between Jason and Jared. Trips on the first board for Jason. Jared holds on the second board. And Aiden reaching into the money bag here. Gonna pull out, looks like $100. Adding back on here. Poker is so sick. And here we go, on to the next one. But don't forget, we are dropping down our Bad Beat qualifier for the rest of this month. Aces full of 9s today. If you have aces full of 9s and both of your hole cards play and you get beat by another player and both of his hole cards play, well, guess what? You get a Bad Beat Jackpot. 50% going to the loser, 30% going to the winner of the hand, and 20% of the remaining $15,000 going to the rest of the table. You have to be active at the table. You have to have time at the table, and you cannot bring up the Bad Beat Jackpot in order for it to qualify. Jared with the ace-10. Under the gun. Throw out a limp. See if he can go 2 in a row here. Paul with the 7-5 suited. Going to make the call. Richard acting just ever so slightly out of turn. And Superman laying out 7 $1 chips right there. We got white chips for $1. We've got red chips for $5. We've got greenies for $25. Jason with the 8-5 in the big blind. Putting in the call. 43 in the middle. 6 ways to the flop. Ace, queen, 5. Jared flopping top pair. Kenny with a pair of queens. Superman and Paul both holding the same 7-5. Paul, though, with the backdoor flush draw, does fold. Richard getting out of the way. Kenny with the pair of queens, peeling off one more card. Let's see what happens. Yes. Superman, pair of 5s, 7 kicker. I believe all 5s are already out of the deck. Jason with the 8-5. Makes the call. Let's see how Jason gets there this time. There's another queen. Kenny getting 2 trips this time. Jason fires away. Jason fires $3 away. Jared going to make the call with his pair of aces. Kenny raising it up to 15. Both Jason and Jared do make the calls. And we're off to a river card. It's a 10. Kenny still best. Jared with 2 pair. Jason calculating right now. You can see the numbers whirring in front of his eyes. Calculates a check is the optimum move. Action on Kenny. Decides to check as well. Turns over his hand. Shows the queen. 6. And we've got a dealer change. That means it's time to talk about that bounty tournament that we've got on Sunday. Come check us out. We'll be doing another live stream on Saturday starting at 3 p.m. $5 on the button. Doing a little no-limit hold'em action. Next Sunday, we'll be doing the Deep Stack tournament. It's one of my favorite tournaments. A lot of room to play poker in that. You don't have to worry about getting blinded out immediately. And we've got the bounty tournament, though, this Sunday. $200 to get you in. $3K guarantee on that tournament. And every player you knock out will surrender a bounty biscuit to you. Thing is worth $50. So each player you knock out, you get a $50 bounty chip. Turn it in at the cage for a cash prize. Whether or not you cash. Aiden with the king-queen under the gun. Going to raise it up to $12. Richard with one of my favorite hands. The 6-9 suited. And Q with the ace-7 suited. Corey with pocket jacks. Here we go. The run out comes ace high, ace-6 deuce. Jared flopping top pair. Q also with top pair. Jared's going to bet $25. Aiden with the snap fold. Q folding as well. Folding the weaker ace. Corey with pocket jacks. No good this time. Gonna make the laydown. A 10 comes on the turn. A 10 of hearts. 2 diamonds for Richard, 2 hearts, but nobody holding hearts. Richard going all in with his pair and his flush draw. Jared calling with his 2 pair. Richard's going to need some help here. About a 4-1 dog on this one. The river card is an 8, a blank. Jared is going to scoop that pot. Now Richard very quickly adding back on. The game grows once again. Got about another half hour left on this live stream. Let's see if Richard can turn it around and come back. Robert shuffling up. Hand number 28, one of my favorite dealers. All right, this is going to be the one. We're going all in on the turn here. And that's my guess. Aiden in the big blind. Paul, first to act, throws out a limp with 10-9 suited. Richard's got a suited queen, the queen of diamonds. One of my favorite cards in the deck. Queen of hearts, a little scary, especially if you've seen Alice in Wonderland. Jared with the 7 deuce, going to call the 1 buck. He's coming along for the ride. Looks like we've got another family pot here. 9 players in. King, queen, jack on the flop. 2 spades for Paul. Paul not only flopping the straight, but also flopping a flush draw here. Straight flush draw, no less. I did not see the king of spades. It may still be in the deck. Paul betting out $10. Getting a call from Richard. Juan Q. Superman. Jared decides not to continue. Aiden out of there with his pair of jacks and his backdoor flush draw. There's the 7 of spades. Paul improves up and down straight flush draw. Can he get there? He's going to bet. Richard folds immediately. Juan with the 10-8. Looking for a 9 for a straight or an ace. He does have the 8 of spades. Paul not going to get to the straight flush that away. And Paul not going to get to the straight flush either way. Everybody folds. He's going to take down that pot. $108 in the middle. 56 in profit. Still got a couple of viewers on the stream. Thank you for checking us out. We are KoJack's in Midland. Having a great time watching some 1-2 right now. Trying to hit that bad beat. And here we go. We've got the next hand, and that hand is number 29. I thought we'd get it all in on the turn on the last hand. Let's see if we get it all in on this hand. Juan with the ace quisha. Going to make the call. And Justin in the chat saying, no. I know I would have loved to see that king of spades come out. And here we go. Another almost family pot here. Eight ways to the flop. This time $16 in the middle. Everybody limping along. 7-4 deuce, all clubs. Juan with the nut flush draw. Aiden holding the 8 high flush draw. Paul with the jack high flush draw. And Kenny with the 9 high. There's an ace on the turn. Richard improves. Aces and deuces. Juan with the nut flush draw, though. Going to throw out a bet of $25, just a quarter. Jason's going to fold Jared out of there as well. Aiden cannot call. And Richard makes the call with his 2 pair. A 10 comes off on the river. Richard gets the check mark. And it goes check, check on the river. Richard going to take that one down with the ace deuce. I just got word. We've got a full day here at KoJack's. We've got 4 other tables going on outside in the main room. We got 3 5 on the button tables going, 2 1-2 tables, including this one. So if you're trying to get some poker going, I say come out to KoJack's. We're dropping that bad beat qualifier. Everybody trying to get a piece of that action. $15K up for grabs. Aces full of 9s is the qualifying hand. If ace is full of 9s, loses, and both hole cards play for both players. $15,000 will be distributed to the players in the hand and to the rest of the table. Juan with the 10-6, Kenny with the ace tray. Jason looking down at 9-8 off suit. Going to have to call a $15 bet from Q if he wants to continue. Aiden with the ace-8. Off suit on the button, coming along for the ride. And there's an ace on the flop. Ace 7-4. Richard with the best pair of aces. The case ace makes its way to the board. Aiden throws out, looks like $5. Richard makes the call. Juan with the 10-6 out of the way. Kenny with the 8 tray making the call, as does Q. And Jason folds. We're 4 ways to the turn. That $5 bet did thin the field pretty significantly. There's a 10 on the turn for Richard, making 2 pair this time. Aiden keeping up the aggression. He's going to bet. Richard's going to call. Richard making the raise. $50 is the new bet. Q getting out of the way. Aiden going all in. Going to need some help here. Aiden is drawing dead. No opportunities. And there's a jack on the river. The first jack, the first river. And the second river comes out. It's a king. Richard throws out his 2 pair, and it is good. That is a scooper right there. Aiden is felted, but he leaves his card protector out there. A very cool turtle made by one of the players here. Aiden, no doubt, going to be adding back on, coming back in. And here we go. Q looking down at the ace king suited, raised to $20. Anytime you see that ace of spades, you got to just go all in. At least that's my philosophy. Paul with the ace deuce suited actually folds. He would have been way behind on that hand, but he's got the button. And Q drags that pot, $3 profit. Going all in probably would have had the same effect. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. We are KoJack's in Midland. We've got 4 tables going on in the main room and 1 live table going on right now. 3 5 on the button tables, 2 1 2 tables. We got a lot of action. We got that Bad Beat Jackpot, $15K up for grabs. King 7-4 on the board. Jared with a pair of kings. Richard with the mystery hand. Could be any 2 cards. And here we go, 3 ways to the turn. A deuce comes out, absolute blank. And a 9 comes out on the river. Paul makes a pair. Jared with the pair of kings is best. But Paul bets $50. Richard makes a snap call. Jared folds. We're getting a showdown here. And Paul takes it down with the pair of 9s. Aiden coming back in, 2 crispy $100 bills right in front of him, getting ready to go. And we will be doing our bounty tournament this weekend. $200 will get you in. $3K guarantee. We're starting early, 2:30 p.m. Get in early. I believe we're doing that early bird special. Even still. And of course, Monday, we've got that free roll coming on in. $25 re-entry. You can get in for free. There is a $10 dealer appreciation. We'll get you a double stack to start off with. And Q with the Q tree. Corey with the King 6. Jason with the Jack 5. Coming along for the ride. Aiden with the King 10 suited of spades. And Kenny 3-betting up to $17 with the ace-8 suited. Jason making the call. Aiden making the call. Richard making the call. Juan making the call. We are 5 ways to a $90 pot. 89 to be exact. Jack 7 tray, all spades. Aiden flops the second nut flush. Betting $25. It's like Juan makes the call. Well, he goes all in for $33. Jason with a pair of jacks is going to fold. Aiden makes the call there. Juan does have outs. Oh, there's another spade right there. The queen of spades and another spade. Both players with a flush. Aiden, though, obviously the better flush. King high. Almost making the royal flush if that ace of spades had come off. Yeah, it looks like Juan is adding back on. And thank you for joining us. We are winding down the live stream. Got a couple more hands to go. About 10 more minutes on this stream. Thanks again for checking us out. We are full up here at KoJack's. We've got plenty of action going on. Five tables right now. 3 5 on the buttons, 2 1-2s, and a partridge in a pear tree. Five total tables, 4 in the main room, 3 $5 on the buttons, 2 1-2s. And here we go. We're on hand number 34. Corey with the ace-10 under the gun, throws out a limp. Jason with the jack-4 out of the way. Jared playing the king-5. Aiden with the ace-9. Paul with the 9-8. And Richard with the 6-4. Queen-9 for Juan. Queen-Jack for Q. We're 8 ways to the flop here. Jack 7-5, 2 hearts. Superman with the queen high flush draw. Q with the pair of jacks and a Q kicker. Superman, though, betting out $11. Corey going to make the call with his backdoor nut flush draw. Paul with the 9-8. Also drawing to a flush. 6 of hearts would give him the straight flush, but Kenny is holding that 6 of hearts. $122 in the middle, 6 players to the turn. Here we go. It's a king of diamonds. Corey improves to the nut flush draw. And he's got a Broadway draw. Superman holding the queen of hearts, though. Good card for Corey to be in play. Superman betting $29. Corey comes along for the ride. Jared with the king-5 made a pair. He also calls. Got 2 pair. Looking for a boat on this board. And Q calls. Oh, sorry, Richard calls. With the straight draw, Q gets out of the way. Queen Jack, no good. A lot of reverse implied odds. And there's the 10 of hearts. Superman makes the flush. And promptly puts all of his chips in the middle. Looks like 106. 101. Jared with 2 pairs here, facing a decision. About a third of his stack would have to go in the middle to make the call. And Richard does make the fold. Superman takes it down. And Justin in the chat singing the song. I like where your head's at, my man. 5 total tables, 4 in the main room, 3, 5 on the button, 2 1-2s, and 1 commentator on the live stream. Your version is way better than mine. Well, thanks everybody for checking us out. Chat pros in the chat. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Basil. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Robert, Tony, for showing up. We got Shay Shay in the chat. We got Meg in the chat as well. And Teresa Leva. Thank you so much, everybody, for lighting up our chat, keeping it lively. Thanks for checking us out as well. Having a good time watching some 1-2. We'll be back in action on Saturday, doing some 5 on the button hold'em. A bigger game. A splashy game, though not quite as splashy as the 1-2. Kenny with the pocket queens. Raising it up. Looks like 75. Oh, $50. That'll get Q out of there. Corey with big slick, though, the ace-king. Folds. The ace-king. And Jason with the ace-9 coming along for the ride. Richard with the 4-3, thinking about making a call here. If you think your opponents are playing higher value cards, having the lower value cards could lock up a lot of boards that those opponents miss. But if you're playing up against large pocket pairs, drawn slim, question is, what does Richard put Kenny and Jason on? Are they pocket pairs or are they high cards? And he does fold, as does Juan. And the flop comes out ace high. Ace 9-7. Jason with 2 pair just ships it right away. Kenny with the pocket queens could get away from this. Tough fold to make. Can he do it? Does he put his opponent on an ace? Oh, and he does make the call. Gets the bad news. And Jason gets the full double up. Justin in the chat saying, see us on Saturday. Yes, sir. We will be here. Looking forward to it. Saturday is going to be a good day. I'll do what I can to hold off that bad beat for you, Justin, but I'm making no promises here. And here we go. This will be the last hand of the stream. Thank you for checking us out, everybody. Having a good time with some 1-2 action. Let's see how good this final hand goes. And don't forget, we've got another live stream on Saturday, that 5 on the button game. Justin will be there. We've got our bounty tournament on Sunday and a free roll on Monday. Jared with the ace-10 under the gun. Throws out a raised $8. Gets a couple of folds. Richard with the 10-8. He's got an 8 in his hand. It only makes sense to call the $8. Same story with Juan with the 8-6. Kenny with the J6. Q with the 6-5 suited from the cutoff. Corey throwing his hand out of the way. Jason coming along with the 10-8, also offsuit. You got an 8 in your hand? Got to call $8? Might as well. 49 in the middle. We are 6 ways to the flop on this final hand. Ace-5 Jack. 2 diamonds on board. Q with the flush draw. Jared with the pair of aces. Jared's going to bet $20, getting a couple of folds. Kenny likes the Jack-6. He's got a pair of jacks, and he's going to call, peeling off another card. See what develops on the turn. And Jason gets out of the way. And there's a 5 pairing the board. Aces and 5s for Jared. Jacks and 5s for Kenny. Jared fires another $20 bet. Q makes the call, looking for that flush on the river. It's an ace instead. Jared boats up. Aces full of 5s for the final hand. Megan in the chat saying she's going to miss us. We will be back in just a few short days. Jared betting $100. Q with trip 5s. Makes the call. Gets the bad news. Jared holding the ace. Aces full of 5s versus 5s full of aces. And Jared chips up on that final hand. $349 in the middle. And Jared all the way up to $560 in his stack. Looks like he is the big winner on the day. Thanks again for checking us out, everybody. That will do it. That was our last hand of the stream. Here's a final look at the chip counts. Jared up to $560. Paul at $454. Juan down to $76. But this game will continue on for at least another couple of hours. So make sure to come out to KoJack's. We've got a good couple of tables running right now. I'm going to go hop in the box and start dealing. We have so many tables right now. We've got 5 total. We've got 3 5 on the buttons, 2 1-2s. So come out and check us out. We're dropping that bad beat qualifying hand down every single day. Today it's aces full of 9s. So make sure to join us here. Hopefully you'll be around when that bad beat hits. Hopefully you're sitting at the table. 20% goes to the table, 30% goes to the winner of the hand, and 50% of that $15,000 bad beat jackpot will go to the loser of that hand. So make sure to come check us out, everybody. Thanks for watching.